Hello and welcome to the video for part 3 of Letitia's garden. As you can hopefully see here, I've got two versions of part 3 that I've already done, and that will just show you that there's the two options. So option 1 is just your standard overlay mosaic, which is this one. So you're only using two colours if you pick that option, which will be your main colour and your CC1 or XX1, depending on whether you are doing the city garden colour scheme or the other ones. But if you want to try something a little different, or maybe you're already a fan of tapestry crochet, what we've got, if you can see on this second version here, so I've just added just a few rows of some tapestry in there as well, so you get this sort of contrasting frame around it. So this video is going to show you this technique, and there's a separate one if you want to do the standard overlay mosaic. There will be a separate video for that. So yeah, as you can see, you do need this extra colour, which is the CC4 or XX3, depending on again which colour scheme you're doing. So great. Okay, so as we are doing overlay mosaic again, remember you're going to need to switch to your larger hook. So for me, that's my 4mm hook, and also we will be cutting the yarn at the end of every row, so you will need your scissors handy. Okay, so as I said, if you were doing option 1, the standard overlay mosaic, you would now be using your CC1 colour or XX1 if you're doing the city palette. But as we're doing the tapestry option for this video, I am going to start with my lovely sunshine yellow or CC4. So, and this is a nice straightforward one to start with. We are just going to do a whole row of standard double crochet. So you know how to do that. As always with the overlay mosaic, we're going to start with the slip knot on the hook and do our standing double crochet in the first, and so we're just actually going to do normal double crochets through both loops all the way along. So that's pretty straightforward there. So I will see you when you've done that row. Okay, so I've now got to the end of row 1, and remember, as it's overlay mosaic, we're going to keep the right side facing us for every single row. So to get back to the beginning, we actually need to fasten off here. So I've just cut my yarn. Remember just to pull that through the loop to make it nice and secure. Right, so we're now going to go back to the beginning and pick up our main colour. This is another nice simple row, so we're going to start with our standing double crochet. So slip knot on the hook and a double crochet through both loops in that first stitch and another one there. So that's our two edge stitches done. So now it's a nice simple row. We are going to be just doing another row of double crochets, but all in the back loops. So a nice row of back loop double crochets right up until we get to the last two, and the last two will be through both loops again. So for this row, we're not just going to be using one colour, we're actually going to be using two. We're going to be using our CC1, the green, and also having interspersing it with a few stitches from the sunshine to give that edge. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start as usual with a standing double crochet. We're going to be using our CC1 colour. So we've got standing double crochet, but actually we're not really going to get very far with it, because when we change the colour on a when we're doing the tapestry, what we're going to do is pull the new colour through the last two loops of the stitch. So obviously with a standing double crochet, that's all we've got to do, because normally we would pull that through. We're actually going to pick up this. So what we're going to call this, we're going to actually, to save all of the CC1 CC4 business, and also because there's obviously the other colorway, the city colorway, which uses different colors, I'm just going to go for A and B. So for the purpose of that, what we normally call in this pattern CC1 or XX1 is going to be A. So this is our yarn A, and then the contrast colour there is yarn B. So we've done the standing double crochet, and we're now going to join yarn B. So just pull that through there, and that sort of completes the stitch. Okay, and what you can do to make things, if you feel a little bit more secure, just ever so gently, if you want, just for this first one, ever so gently, just tie a knot. Don't pull it tight, just tie that just to hold it in place. That'll all be hidden in the border, so that's fine, but that's all nice and secure. So we've now joined our B yarn. So we now need to do one standard double crochet. What we're going to do as we work along, the colour you're not using, where possible, tuck it underneath. So we're going to just, if you see what I'm trying to say there, do that. We're just going to make our double crochet and just catch that yarn A in the middle there. Okay, don't pull this too tight. You want to keep it tensioned the same as everything else, so don't pull it too tight. We've just done that. So we've done our 2 edge stitches there. So one in colour A, one in colour B. So now we need to make our front loop treble 2 rows down. I'm just going to do that as normal using that. You can see when you're actually making a front loop treble, you can't actually catch this yarn in it because it's not going to be down here, but that's okay. So when we do the next row using the main color, we can just sort of pick that up there. Right, so we've done one front loop treble 2 rows down there. We now need to start our repeat, so that starts with another front loop treble 2 rows down. But now we're not completing that stitch because we now need to switch to our other colour. So we're going to pick that up and pull that loop through there. And again, make sure you don't pull it too tight, so just keep that nice and loose there. I'm just going to gently pull that down so it keeps it all tensioned, looking fine. So we've now picked that up. Okay, so we're now going to make some back loop double crochet, so we can actually hide this, our yarn that we're not using at the moment. We're going to put that on the top there and just catch that in. So now I'm going to make 8 back loop double crochets using yarn A. So again, make sure you miss the 2 stitches behind the 2 front loop trebles. And we're going to do that again. Don't pull this too tight. Better to leave it a little bit loose to start with, and we can then, when we get to the run, we'll just tension it up if we need to. Right, so 1, 2, so these are all double crochets into the back loop only, and as you can see, I'm just catching that colour B inside there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and again we're not going to finish off that stitch because we now need to switch to yarn B again. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to flip this over so you can see on the back. Right, so you've got that little bit there, so just pull it out there ever so gently, just tug on that, not to pull it tight but just to make sure you don't have anything bulging out behind. And also when you look at the front there, you can see the tension is all quite nice and neat. Okay, so I'm going to pick up my yarn A again there. So you can see by picking it up there, it gives it a nice neat finish. So we're now going to do one more back loop double crochet, but this time using yarn A, and again we'll be able to just yarn B. I'm going to hold yarn A in place there. So we've now done that. Okay, so now we've got 2 front loop trebles 2 down. So make sure, as always when you're doing these, that you're working into the right stitch. If you pull it out nice and straight, you can see that's the next stitch we would go in. So we're going to make sure we work into this loop. Ooh, pick up my thread, a yarn, work into this loop here. So front loop, treble, 2 down, and another one. Okay, so now we've done that, that is the end of our repeat. So we now need to start the repeat again, and we actually started it with a front loop, treble, 2 down. So we're going to make another one of those, and as before, we're not actually going to complete that stitch. So we're going to pick up yarn A and pull that through. So like I said, don't worry, you don't worry about this being behind there. There's not much we can do about that when we are working the trebles, but when we do the next row, we can do, if you want, let's just pick that up when you use the new main colour on the next row. Okay, so now it's another 8 back loop double crochets. So again, making sure you miss the 1, 2, 3 behind. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 back loop double crochets. Remember not to finish off that last one, we'll just pull it. Yeah, that looks beautifully tensioned at the back there. So drop yarn A, pick up yarn B and pull that through there. Okay, and then we're going to make one more back loop double crochet, but this time using yarn B. So see where we go, and to finish off that repeat, we've got our 2 front loop trebles. 1, 2. Okay, so that is now 2 repeats done. This may look a little bit strange here, but when we do the next row, we're going to drop a treble down into there using our main colour, and that will cover up that join. But by doing it like that, you shouldn't see any sort of weird little spots of the wrong colour when we go through it. Right, so I'll do this once more with you. So again, the repeat starts with a front loop treble, 2 down. Oh, which I shouldn't have gone through the last 2 loops of. So there we go, and now we're going to pick up yarn A and pull that through. And again, make sure you don't pull this too tight at the back. Just need to sort of tension that just to make the stitch look correct. All right, so now we've got our first back loop double crochet, so we've got to do a run of 8 of those as before. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So whoops, and we don't pull it through on that 8th one, so just check you've got 8. 2, 4, 6, that will be 8. So now we pick up, get here, pick up yarn B and pull that through. Okay, and again just check on the back that that's all tensioned nice and it all lays nice on the front. Right, so we've got one more back loop double crochet and we finish. There you are, check you're in the right place. Finish with our 2 front loop trebles. So there we go. Just going to carry on like that all the way along, so you will have your 3 front loop trebles, then 8 of your back loop double crochets using your yarn A, and then 1 back loop double crochet using yarn B, and then you finish off the repeat there with your, you then have another 3 trebles forward. So that's how it's going to look all the way along. Just carry on, repeat that all the way until you get to the last few stitches. When you get to the last 2 stitches, I'll just show you what we do there, because we're going to end it just ever so slightly different to how we end the previous rows. Okay, something else actually to mention, just so you can keep your track, make sure you've got everything lined up correctly. If you notice, every time you get to one of these little sets of 3 trebles, they should line up with the top of one of the whole little zigzaggy lines. So long as those 3 line up with the 3 there, it's a reasonably safe bet that you've got enough stitches, or the correct number of stitches in between. Okay, so I'm now just about at the end of row 3, just going to do that last colour change to B. Just going to pick that up, that down there like so. So we do our last back loop double crochet in that, and then as we've been doing, finish off the repeat with 2 front loop trebles. Okay, so now what we need to do is in our last 2 stitches we're going to still do our carrying on with yarn B, do a double crochet in there, but just pick up yarn A there, and then what we're going to do for the last stitch to finish this off is actually pick up both yarns, so we've got A and B there, and just make a double crochet pulling both of those up. So we've got both of the coloured loops there, and finish off there. That just gives us a nice sense of keeping exactly the same all the way along. We've always got one colour behind the other. So we do that, we'll just chop them both off and make sure we pull through both the loops. Okay, so that is our first row incorporating the tapestry crochet. Next row is going to be a lot easier because we're just going to be using the main colour. So I'm now starting row 4, and as I said, this is just going to be using our main colour, so none of that changing colours with it in the red row. This is an ordinary mosaic overlay mosaic crochet row. So I've already started with my standing double crochet and then another double crochet in both loops for my 2 edge stitches, and then we've got 1 back loop double crochet, and now we start the repeat. So the repeat starts with another back loop double crochet, then a front loop treble 2 rows down into there. So you see that just now kind of frames the different colour bit that we did last time. So we've now got 7 back loop double crochets. So 1, again, make sure you miss that one behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so we've now got another front loop treble, so that's now going to go there, and that will cover up that odd coloured double crochet there. So then we've got 1, 2 back loop double crochets to finish off the repeat. So we're going to carry on again, we'll do it again. So we start the next repeat with another back loop double crochet, so obviously there'll be 3 in a row there. Then you've got your front loop treble, 7 back loop doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, and a front loop treble there. And again, we finish off the repeat with 2 more back loop double crochets. So there we are, that's a nice easy row. There's a little break after the last one, so just carry on there until you get to the end. And just remember at the end that you're going to finish up with your 2 standard double crochets through both loops. And I'll see you when you're ready to start row 5, when we'll go back to doing some more tapestry. Actually, I just forgot, I told you on the last row that we were going to actually pick up where, so I've just pulled out those last couple of stitches I did. we're actually going to pick this up. I've left it there. I could pull it back to do it, but I mean, if you want, you can just leave that little yarn showing there. That won't really make a lot of difference, but I say we'll just pick this one up now. So just like we did before, when we're actually doing these back loop double crochets above here, like we caught the colour we weren't using in there, we can actually just pick this up now. So if I just back loop there and then just make sure I insert my hook in there as well. So 1, 2, and then the third one there. You can see we've just covered that up there. So if you want to make the back a little bit neater, you can do that. It's not absolutely essential to do it, but yeah, I meant to show you that before. Okay, so I now started by doing my standard standing double crochet there in the first stitch using colour B, and then I just joined colour A in that last 2 loops. So that's where I've now got to. So what we're now going to do, using colour A, we're now going to make the second edge stitch there, and make sure whenever you're doing double crochet, whether it's a standard one or in the back loops, just keep your colour you're not using, just tuck that underneath there to keep it nice and neat. So we now got a back loop double crochet. So we're now going to start the actual pattern repeat. If you look at the chart, this is where the pattern repeat starts. So we're going to start that with 2 more back loop double crochets. Okay, just make sure again, like we did before, just make sure that's not too tight, not too loose. Then we've got a front loop treble, which of course can't pick that up because we're going down here, so we'll leave that loose there. I'm now going to do back loop double crochet, which will cover over it, and if you look on the back, it's only a very small bit, so that is not going to be a problem to leave that on the back at all. So we've now got another front, where am I going? Yeah, the right place. Another front loop treble there, and then 3 back loop doubles, 2, 3. Just pull that again, make sure it's nice and neat, and then a front loop treble. But we're not actually going to complete that stitch because we now need to change to our colour B, which we're now going to pick up there. So we've now got 1 back loop double crochet in that, and 3 trebles 3 down. So 2, 3, and we're now not complete that because we're going to complete that using our colour A. Okay, so just like we did before. So now we'll just secure that down there with a double crochet. So we've now got another front loop treble, back loop double, and actually 2 more of those. So 3 back loop double crochets, 1 front loop treble, 1 double, 1 treble, and then actually we're not changing. So this works, so if you look at the pattern, you'll see that you're actually, like here, we left that. So we had the like the green going over the top. So it's only every other one of our little blocks there that's actually going to pick up our contrast colour this time. So now we can just carry on. So we have now got 1, 2, 3 to complete our first repeat. So our first repeat started there and ends there. So we're now going to start all over again with our 2 back loop double crochet. So we'll do this repeat together. 1, 2, then a front loop treble, double crochet, treble, and then we've got 3 back loop doubles, 2, 3, and there's the treble that we're not going to complete. So say like we did here, we're now going to switch. Oh, get here, get the right way around. Trying to stop it all getting tangled up. So I'm now going to pick up colour B, secure that there like so, and now we can do our 3 trebles. 2, 3, and then we've got, oh, hold on, what I should have done. So we are not completed that because we're going to complete it using colour A. It's a little bit fiddly, but I think, you know, it's worth doing just to, it does look nice. It just gives that extra little effect. So now we've got back loop double crochet there, front loop treble, then we've got 3 double crochets, 2, 3, again just give that a gentle pull, just to make sure it all lays nice and flat. If you do find that you've pulled that sort of too hard and it bunches up, what you can do, or if you're not sure, just sort of stretch it out again. Before you then do any more stitches with the other colour, you'll be able to just stretch it out and make sure it's lying nice and flat. So we've got front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, and we're going to finish with our 3, 2, 3 back loop double crochet. So that's our second repeat done. So the first repeat was from there to there, and we've now done another one. So you carry on along the row like so, and as you'll see, you should have you'll have twice as many stitches now between your extra colour. So just carry along the row, and again I'll meet you when you've just got a couple of stitches left to do at the end. Okay, so I've now got to the last 2 stitches of row 5. So again, these are going to be our edge stitches. So the first one says to do 1 double crochet, but what we're going to do is pick up our colour B in there, and just as we did back on row 3, we're now going to have both colours. I'm going to do our very last double crochet, pulling up a loop in both colours. Whoops, pick that up, pull it through. So there we go, and that finishes that. So we can cut both of those off and pull that through to secure. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of row 6. So I've just started with my standing double crochet and another normal double crochet through both loops. So my two edge stitches there. This is a nice easy row. It's just the main colour, and in fact for the next 20 or so rows we are just going to be using the 2 sort of colours. We're not going to be using our extra contrast, this yellow, anymore. The rest of it's just going to be basically the green and the cream, or whichever colours you're using for your MC and CC1 or XX1. So right, so what we do again, we start the first stitch here after our 2 edge stitches is going to be a back loop double crochet, and now it's time to start the main repeat. So we'll start that with 5 more back loop double crochet. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and now what we've got to do here, we're going to put like a little box in here. So it's going to be a front loop treble 2 down, and then back loop double crochet, then another treble, okay, then another back, and now we've got front loop treble in there. So now it's time to do our 3 back loop double crochets over here, and remember to pick up, it's not essential if you forget it, but it just holds that nice and neat and secure on the back. So we've picked up our carried thread from the back there, carried yarn. So now we've got another front loop treble, 2 down and a back loop double crochet, and the same again, so another front loop treble and a back loop double, finally another front loop treble. Okay. So now what we've got is actually a run of 6 back loop double crochet, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is the end of our first repeat. So see, we started our repeat actually there. So we started it with 5 back loop double crochets and we've ended with 6. So basically what you'll have is you'll have these little clusters here with the front loop trebles and back loop double crochets like so, and in between those little sets there will be a run of 11 back loop double crochets. So we'll just do the next repeat together. So again, we started with 5 back loops, 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, 5, then we've got our little front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, back loop double, and a front loop treble. And again, when we get here to do our 3 back loop double crochets there, just remember to pick up that yarn on the back there. Front loop treble, back. I'm back, sorry about that, perfect timing for a delivery to arrive. Right, so let's just carry on here with our second repeat. So we've now got our little cluster to sort of mirror these here. So we've done the first front loop double treble, we've now got a back loop double, front loop treble, and a back loop double, finishing up there with a third front loop treble in that little group. So now just to finish off the repeat, we've got our little run of 6 back loop double crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there we are, there's our first 2 repeats done. So just carry along the row like so. And what I'll do, the next sort of 20 or so rows are all exactly the same as they are for the standard mosaic without the tapestry crochet. So what I'll do, the next few times when you see me, it's going to actually be a different looking blanket because I used the country garden palette for my swatch for the other one. So I'll just insert some rows there to help you with the rest of it, and then I'll see you back with this blanket on row 31. Okay, so back to start row 7. I've actually just started with the 2 edge stitches and the first back loop double crochet before the main repeat starts. So this is actually quite a nice little easy one really. We've shortened the repeat to actually 6 stitches just for this row. So we're now going to start it with 2 back loop double crochets, then 1 front loop treble, and 3 back loop double crochets. So that is what we're going to be repeating across. So 2 back loop double crochets, so that gives us a total of 5 back loop double crochets, and then 1 front loop treble. So end that next repeat with 1, 2, 3 back loop double crochets, start the next one with 2 more. 2, 1 front loop treble, and then your back loop doubles. So just carry on along the row like so. You may still want to keep your moving your marker up, just because it's going to get a longer repeat again very soon. Okay, just a little reminder at the end of row 7 that you should end with your 3 back loop double crochets and then your 2 edge stitches through both loops. Get it off, pull it through the loop. Okay, so I've just got started on row 8 with my 2 edge stitches and the back loop double crochet before the main repeat. Okay, so we now start, we've got quite a few of the square brackets, or 2 sets of the square brackets here. So that is actually easier than it looks. So we've now start the repeat with 1 back loop double crochet and 1 front, and we've got to do that 3 times. So that's 2 back loop double crochets, 2 front, and then 1, 2. So now we've got a run of 11 back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, and now we've got 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double, and we've got to do that twice. So front, back, and then 1 more front loop treble, and we finish our repeat with 2 back loop double crochets. Ooh, don't put it through your stitch marker. Okay, so that's the end of our first repeat. I'm just going to pop that in there. Keep a track of where we are. So we're starting the repeat again with 1 back loop double crochet, 1 front loop treble 3 times. So that's 2, and that's 3. Okay, so then you'll just carry on with 11 back loop double crochets, and then your little alternating between a front loop treble, back loop double, so you get those 3 trebles there, and then just carry along to the end. So yeah, carry on with that repeat, and I will see you to do row 9. So this is what the pattern looks like at the end of row 8, and just so you can double check, at the end you should have finished with 2 back loop double crochets and then your standard double crochets in those last 2 stitches as usual. So there we go. Okay, I've just now got started on row 9. So switch back to CC1 again, done the 2 edge stitches, and then there's this time there's a front loop treble before we start the main repeat. So now at the start of the main repeat we've got another front loop treble 2 rows down, then 1 back, 1 front, so back loop double, front loop treble there, 3 back loop double crochets, front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble. So you have a little look. After we've done that, I'll just all fingers and thumbs. So you can see we've got like a little square pattern here. So you've got like a figure of 8 in your main colour, and then there's a little square in your contrast colour in each corner of that square. Okay, so now we have got 5 back loop double crochets over here, 3, 4, 5. We're now basically going to mirror what we did here. So we've got front loop double crochet, front loop treble, back loop double crochet, front loop treble, 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and front loop treble. Then we've got a back loop double crochet, and to finish the repeat we have got 2 front loop trebles 2 rows down. Okay, so what I'm now going to do, take my little stitch marker out there, move that up. If you don't need them, then that's fine, they're not essential, but sometimes they can just, like I say, be useful to keep track of where you are. So we now know we're starting the repeat again. So we've got front loop treble, we're sort of going to be mirroring this bit now. So we've got a back loop double crochet, front loop treble, 3 back loop doubles, 1 front loop treble, double crochet, another treble, and then we've got 5 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, treble, double, treble, 3 back loop doubles. So yeah, I don't always say back loop, but all within the row, you know this by now, they're always going to be into that back loop only. The double crochets and the trebles will always be into the front loops. So just end that repeat with 1 back loop double crochet and then 2 front loop trebles. So if you're at the end of the row now like me, great. If not, carry on, and obviously when you do get to the end, you've just got your 2 standard double crochets. So that's row 9. So as usual, I've just started off row 10 here using my main colour with the 2 edge stitches and this little extra back loop double crochet before the main repeat starts. So we now start, this is a relatively straightforward little repeat again, so we now start with a back loop double crochet, front loop treble, and now 7 back loop double crochets. So what we're doing, we're going over the top of this little box I mentioned before, all with back loop double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now we have 1 front loop treble, 2 back loop doubles. So that is what we're going to be repeating along. Okay, so we started there. It's just a little 12 stitch repeat this time. So we start again, back loop double, oh damn, what is wrong with me today? Back loop double crochet, front loop treble, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 back loop double crochets, 1 front loop treble, and we finish that repeat as before with 1 here. Take that out to do it because I was fiddly there. So we now finish that with our second back loop double crochet, and I'm going to pop that back in again. Okay, so just carry along the row like so, and as usual when you get to the end, remember that the final 2 stitches are just going to be a standard double crochet through both loops. So I've started again with the 2 edge stitches and a front loop treble before the main repeat starts. So we now start our main repeat at row 11 with a front loop treble, and now I've got 5 back loop double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 front loop treble, 3 back loop doubles, 1, 2, 3, then we've got front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, then 3 back loop doubles, 1 front loop treble, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back loop double crochets, and we're going to end with 2 front loop trebles. Okay, take my little marker out. I'm actually not going to bother with the markers anymore, but if they're helping you, then please carry on just putting them at the end of each repeat. Okay, so that is our first repeat of row 11. So just carry along the row, and again when you get to the end, remember the last 2 stitches are your edge stitches, so they're standard double crochets. So after row 12 you should be looking at something that looks a bit like this, well, hopefully exactly like that, just in different colours maybe. Okay, so row 13 I've already got started as usual with the edge stitches and that little extra front loop treble that goes before the main repeat. So when I'm going to start actually sort of, you can just see the beginnings of the 2 types of crosses here, so they should be a little bit clearer after we've done the next couple of rows. So our repeat starts with 5 front loop trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we have 1 back loop double crochet, 1 front loop treble, and we're going to do that twice. So there's another back loop double crochet and another front loop treble, and now we've got 5 back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double. We're going to do that twice. So front loop treble crochet, back loop double, and now we end our repeat with 6 front loop trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're still using a marker, that will be the mark stitch, that last one. So you can see we're now like halfway through doing this cross, filling it in. So we're going to start the next repeat with 5 more front loop trebles, just like we did here. Repeat that all the way across until you get to the end, and you'll do your standard double crochets in the end. So I've just started as usual with the 2 edge stitches and that first stitch before the main repeat starts, and now I'm going to start the main repeat with a front loop treble. We've now got 5 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, ooh, 4, 5, and then front loop treble, 3 back loop double crochets, so 1, 2, 3, then front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, 3 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 front loop treble, and we're gonna we've now got 5 back loop double crochets, not quite at the end yet, 5 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we finish our repeat with 2 more front loop double crochets. So that's the first repeat done. So there we go. Really start to see the crosses now taking shape. Almost got that. So I've done the little stitches before the main repeat now on row 17. So the repeat starts with the front loop treble 2 down. So then we've got 1 back loop double crochet, 1 front loop treble, and we've got 3 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, a treble, double, treble, and then 5 back loop double crochets, 3, 4, 5, front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, and 3 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 1 front loop treble, 1 back loop double, and we finish this first repeat with 2 front loop trebles. Okay, so there we go. So repeat that across row 17, and you should actually be okay now, I think, to just carry on with part 3 following either the chart or the written instructions, or a combination of both, whichever. So I will just come back every couple of rows and just show you just a little photo of what your work should be looking like at that point. Okay, so I'm back again with my cottage garden blanket to take you through the next, or the last in fact, couple of rows that we need to do with the tapestry crochet. So this time, so row 31, so this time we start with our standing double crochet in our yarn A, back to calling these yarn A, yarn B again, for the 2 colours on this row. So start with our standing double crochet. As always, when we're then doing the tapestry mosaic, we don't complete that because we're going to just pull our yarn B through. So, and we've got to remember, wherever possible, to whatever colour you're not using, just pick that up when you make the stitch. And I'm not going to bother to knot this one. You can if you want. I'll leave it there, but I'm just going to hold this end, this little end here secure. I'm just going to work over that with my first stitch as well. That'll all get sort of secured at the end. We'll just do, okay, so we're now ready to start there. So I can drop that in now, so that's not going to go anywhere. We've now got one double crochet, back loop double crochet before we start the repeat. Okay, so ready to start our first repeat now with another double crochet, except I shouldn't have completed that because we now need to switch straight away back to yarn A for the next 2 stitches. So just pull that through there. So now we've got back loop double crochet. Now we're going to go, we've got carrying on with the pattern here, so front loop treble 2 rows down, remembering, say, we can't pick it up behind the treble, but we can behind all these back loop double crochets. So we've now got 5 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're now going to repeat this and do it again 2 more times. So we've got front loop treble 2 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just check it back. Yeah, there we go. Make sure that's all nice and neat there. And then again we've got front loop treble 2 down and another 5 back loop double crochets. 3, 4, 5. Yep, all nice and neat. And a front loop treble. We're not going to complete the front loop treble because it's now time to pick up our yarn B. So just pull that through there, and we've now got 3 back loop double crochets, 2, 3. So that now completes our first repeat. So we started with this here to there, so that's our first repeat done. So now I need to start again with another back loop double crochet there. We're now gonna, oops, I should have done, it's not completed that, so we're now going to change back to yarn A. Okay, and we've got 1 front loop double crochet there. So again, always remembering the yarn you're not using when you're doing a double crochet, you just tuck that behind. Okay, so now we've got that run again of front loop double crochet and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, just repeat that across. So you've got, you know, if you have a little look there, you'll see that we've just got the little group of 4 yarn B double crochets sort of above these smaller little white crosses here, and in between we'll have front loop treble, 5 back loop doubles 3 times, and another front loop treble. So you just carry on all the way along, and I'll see you when you get to the end. Okay, so I've now got to more or less at the end of row 31, so I'll just take this last little colour change, take you through that together, and obviously how we just finish up the line again. Just a little reminder, we'll be doing it the same way as we did back here. Okay, so I'm now just changing to my yarn B for the last time, and we've got that final 3 back loop double crochets from the repeat. As usual, just check that's nice and neat. So we're now going to work a double crochet through both loops in the second from last stitch, but as before, just pull yarn A through that loop and then pick up both yarns to make our final edge stitch, a final double crochet. Pick it up, pull it through there. So okay, so that is row 31 complete. Row 32 is nice and easy. It's just using your main colour. So you just go ahead and do that, and I will meet you when we are ready to start row 33. Okay, so now ready to start row 33. So you can see our little yellow boxes, the yellow stitches are now all lovely and neat, surrounded by the main colour. Right, so I've just started with my standing double crochet, which I didn't quite complete because I'm now going to add my colour B. So just like we've been doing. Now this second edge stitch, sew through both loops there. So there we go, drop the end now, and remember to carry this one across. Okay, so now we've got a front loop, treble 2 down, and we're now starting our repeat again. So remember, when we're doing the trebles, we have to leave this as it is at the back, but we can pick it up later. When we do the next row, we'll just sort of go over that, hide that if we want to. Okay, so another front loop treble. Oh, except I shouldn't have completed that because I now need to pick up my yarn A. And there we go. So secure that there with a back loop treble, or a back loop double crochet. So now we've got a front loop treble, 2 rows down, and we've got 3 back loop double crochets. Again, just make sure that's nice and neat at the back. Front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, but this time we're not completing that because we're now going to pick up our yarn B. So now we've got to do our little contrast bits above the big cross. So on row 31 we were only working above the small cross, but on this round we're going to also be doing our yellow or colour B above the large one. So got back loop double crochet, 2, 3, 4, and then pick up B, A indeed. Okay, so there's that one. Then we've got front loop treble, back loop double, front loop treble, 3 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, again just make sure the back is all nice and neat. And a front loop treble, and again we don't complete that because we're now picking up our yarn B again. Do that double back loop double crochet there, and then we complete our repeat with 2 front loop trebles, 2 down. Okay, so there is our first repeat. So we started with that last front loop treble there, we've gone along there, so we'll just do one more together. So start with a front loop treble, don't complete it because we now need to pick up, if I can pick it up, where are you? Pick up yarn A, there we go. So front loop treble, 2 down, 3 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 1 front loop treble. Again, remember when you do the back loops to pick that yarn up that you're carrying, and there, and we don't complete that last front loop treble before we change. Okay, so we've now got 4 double crochets, 2, 3, 4. Don't complete the last one, check it's all nice and neat on the back. Okay, and then we've got a front loop treble 2 down, 1 back, 1 front, 3 back, 1, 2, 3, 1 front loop treble, and now we pick up our yarn bead, 2 back loop double crochet, and finish that second repeat with our 2 front loop trebles. Okay, so there we go. Just carry on along the row like so, and I'll see you at the end again. I'm now almost at the end of row 33. Just going to do this last little colour change again. So as always, we're going to pick up our yarn B in that last 2 loops, and we've got 1 back loop double treble, and the final 2 double treble, 1 back loop double crochet, and now 2 front loop trebles to finish our repeat. And we've got the edge stitch, so we'll start that there. It's 1 double crochet, but we're going to just pick up our yarn A in that last 2 loops, and then as always we get to the end and we're going to work our last double crochet with both yarns, pull that through. So that is the end of the tapestry parts. So you can just now go ahead, do the last couple of rows of this part as per the pattern rather, and I will see you at the end. Okay, so here we are with part 3 of Letitia's Garden, all completed now using the tapestry mosaic option. So I will see you next time for part 4.